I told myself I wouldn't cry.
You almost had me go.
No, I said I wouldn't do it.
Happy transfer day! Woo! It's transfer day. We're feeling excited. We're feeling hopeful. We've made it to Illume Fertility in Stamford, Connecticut. Stacey actually arrived a couple hours earlier for her laser acupuncture treatment, which is supposed to just relax you and create welcoming energy for the embryo transfer.
Nice pants.
Thanks. When I reminded Stacey we were filming today, she was like, "Oh, I didn't bring any clothes for that. I just have some bright purple leggings." And I was like, all right, I'll wear some crazy leggings too.
My name is Stacey. I am 36 now. I have two children who are 10 and almost 12, and they were very involved in the go around with surrogacy #1.
Stacey is literally an angel of a human. Not only is she an amazing mother and a hard worker, she is the perfect addition to our little family.
I met Thomas and his husband back in 2020. I was already going through a surrogacy journey with a couple from Germany, and that didn't work, so I ended up matching with them. My liaison at the surrogacy agency was amazing. So when she matched me and the dads, she's like, "I think this is really it." And she was spot on. I don't think I could have asked for a better couple to be paired with. They've been amazing. They haven't really put restrictions on anything because they trust me in how I am when I'm pregnant, because I have two kids that I've raised, and they're like, "You have two kids, do what you did, we trust you." And the agency said that that's a very rare thing for parents who are putting all this money into having children to put their full trust in you. Is just incredible. When I first started thinking about it, my kids were only 3 and 5. And so it just wasn't the right time, so I waited. They got a little older and they learned the birds and the bees. And I told them after everything was confirmed, the first pregnancy, I told them that I was going to have a baby for some people in New York. And they just looked at me like I was crazy. We talked about it a lot. And then they met Thomas and his husband, and I guess seeing them in person made it kind of make them believe, like, okay, we're helping a family who needs help. I explained it to them that they can't have a baby on their own, so mom's here to help them have a baby. It's not related to us, but they're gonna be like family, and we're like aunties, and you're like their cousins. So I kind of made it more of a family situation versus like, this is a family that we wouldn't have had if it wasn't for this. And I think now with them doing take 2, they understand more of the birds and the bees and the science part of it. So I think they have lots of questions, and I think just the layman term answers are very simple and direct, and can't really sugarcoat things for kids. They're very smart. So they're okay with it. They grew to adapt, and I don't think they would have changed anything if you would have asked them.
So you know, a lot of people who do this, they see it as kind of a transaction, and we didn't want that. A lot of the times with adoptions, it's considered open or closed. Same situation here. And it was important for both us and for Stacey that it was open, that we could share pictures and we could, get to know each other even beyond the birth. And that was really important to us. And, kids are smart. Even now, like as they're starting to talk, I think they're hearing mommy a lot in school. So that's coming into our house a lot. And we're like, well, babes, you have a daddy and a bubba. And there is Aunt Stacey who carried you for us. And I think having her in our lives from the very beginning has made that transition easier. There's still a lot more to understand and to teach them and inform them about, but with time.
We've made many trips already to visit them here in New York. They came and visited and saw the kids, and we FaceTimed a lot, and it was just an incredible journey to be on with them. It's like we became family overnight. They welcomed us into their home like we're family, and vice versa. So today we woke up, it's transfer day, and it's always exciting. And this go round, my transfer wasn't until 2. Last time it was, I think, at like 9 a.m., but which is way better. So I got to sit around my hotel room and just kind of pace back and forth and be nervous, but be happy.
So we showed up with our cameras, hoping for the best, and we received a little pushback at first because it's, a sensitive procedure. But after, explaining our cause and that we're trying to shine a light on the process for other growing families, we were given limited access to the transfer. So thank you so much, Dr. Leondiris, for working with us. It was really cool.
All right, so everybody's here. So what you guys are going to do is walk around the corner, walk around Stacey's mom, and there's seats for you there.
I get there and things are great. We get into the room and the dads and I sit down and talk, and my mom's there for support.
So there's this little straw here, and this is what your embryo was in. And I'm going to show it to you guys. You can see your names on it, and I'll pass that around. And then on here, the embryo was in this little tip, but it's no longer in there. It's since been warmed and put in a little droplet. Get your own pen. The scores. Pens are a commodity around here too.
I'll give it that.
So kudos.
So next, something kind of unexpected happened. We went to thaw our embryo, and after several minutes, Dr. L comes back in and he says, this happens sometimes, but throughout the process of thawing the embryo, it started to fall apart.
This embryo that's going to be in the same liquid as that embryo, that's kind of breaking down, releasing, factors that when things break down, it would negatively affect the one that it's going in.
So like the membrane around the cell wasn't strong enough or wasn't fully attached or complete to the point where it would have likely resulted in a miscarriage. Now, it was at this point where we were deciding whether to transfer that embryo or to thaw a second embryo. And here is where we were a little hopeful for maybe a twin pregnancy again, just because when you have a struggling embryo and you transfer it with a healthy one, sometimes the healthy one helps the hurting one, and they kind of balance each other out. But we spoke to the doctor, and we were kind of going through all of these scenarios, and at the end of the day, at the rate that the first embryo was deteriorating, it very likely could have been unhealthy for the healthy embryo. At the end of the day, we were really grateful to have that one healthy embryo, and to avoid any complications, we just transferred the one.
We did one, and we're sticky vibes, and so Dr. L was good about it, and he gave us the time we needed, and we transferred one embryo today.
So after the procedure, everything went beautifully. It was a gorgeous day outside, so we decided to sit down and kind of just reflect on what had just happened, because that was a lot to take in, and kind of reminisce over our first journey and talk about our excitement for what's to come.
When I went back in for my initial scan, they're like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Round 2," and they all started jumping. They're like, "Are you serious?"
Celebrate.
I said, "Yeah." So we're gonna have the same staff as last time, so
Good.
it'll be good.
Yeah, it was a good team.
I'm excited.
I know,
I'm so
all the
excited.
feels. Being able to hang with Stacey face-to-face is not a very common occurrence. We're used to communicating mostly over Zoom or through FaceTimes. So just being able to sit down on this bench and hold her hand and just bond face-to-face, it was really, really special. This is my timeline.
Oh my gosh, you printed it out?
I did.
What? You are crazy. Look at that.
So our first journey together, it started off, really smooth. Everything kind of happened organically, especially conversation and the way that we communicated. So we retrieved 37 eggs from our donor and then fertilized them on Halloween of 2020. So all of our
That's cool.
babies will be conceived
On Halloween.
on the same day,
That's
Halloween 2020. February 27th.
You marked my period. Oh,
then-
that's funny. I guess the main thing to have is the support system in your corner. I guess the biggest hurdle I was kind of contemplating was telling my family at first. I reached out to my mom and I said, hey, I think I kind of want to do this. She goes, why? And I said, I don't know, I just kind of want to do it. And she's like, well, whatever you need, I'll help you with. And I'm like, okay, she's in, check. And then I went to one of my best friends. I said, am I crazy? And she goes, yup, but what do you need help with? I said, this, and this. She goes, I'm in. I'm like, okay, check. And then it kind of snowballed from there.
So Stacey lives in Wisconsin and we live in New York City. So it was definitely a challenge being so far away from the pregnancy physically, but we were able to stay in constant contact. We communicated regularly. We would Zoom and just celebrate the little milestones and victories along the way.
The kids have seen me in my nausea stage. They've seen me in my tired stage. They've seen me in my happy, let's run around. They're great. They have gotten me a bucket when I couldn't. They've been through it all. I think the hardest thing for them is how to not just blurt out what I'm doing. Like if we're out in public and they're like, oh my gosh, congrats, you're pregnant. My daughter is very quick to be like, oh no, she's a surrogate for a couple in New York. It's not our baby. I'm like, okay, not everyone needs to know that at the park. So it's really cool, and it seems like she's very proud of it. And so when comments are made of like, congrats, you're pregnant, sometimes I just say thank you. Sometimes I say, well, I'm caring for someone else. Sometimes the kids are like, it's not our baby. So they understand the gist of it, but that does get a little complicated. And once you kind of like I said, very firm, direct answers to the questions, then I think that they understand it a little easier.
I just printed off your Facebook post because your
I saw
Facebook
that.
posts are amazing.
Yeah, I started doing
The
that again. So when I'm confirmed pregnant, I'll probably, I don't know when I'll make it active. So then my whole album will post.
So we're in the delivery room for the birth of our twins, and I just remember sitting next to Stacey, holding her hand, and I see Demi pop out, and then shortly followed by Benjamin. Holding my babies for the first time, I don't think I can put into words what that felt like. It was, I had dreamt of these little babies for my entire life. Oops, sorry, I'm getting emotional. I had dreamt of these babies for my entire life, and they were finally here. And I just don't know how to put into words how that felt. It was surreal.
They brought the kids in so I could see them right away after my legs became numb from the epidural. So I got to see them that same day, and it was incredible to see these tiny little humans that came out of my stomach and I got to hold them both. I don't know if every surrogacy journey will be that way. It just depends on who you match with and what your stipulations are. Both of us, the dads and I, wanted to stay in contact, and that was very important for me with my children. Being involved through the 8 months of surrogacy, it was a stipulation in mine to say, yes, I want to still be in contact. Yes, I want to see them grow. Yes, I'm open to visits. Yes, I would like to see them. Yes, I would like to Skype after. And the dads were awesome. They honored all of that. They, I'm here in New York right now doing a round 2 just because it was such a great experience.
Good job. All right, Demi's turn. 1, 2, 3.
When you agreed to do it again with us, we were just over the moon because we weren't sure what you were gonna say.
I wasn't sure either until then. When Thomas and his husband brought it to my attention and asked me to do it again, I told them I have to think about it. I have to talk to the kids, and because I wanted their input on it. If there was any little inkling of them saying no, then I would have been no. So I sat them down and I said, hey, Thomas and his husband asked me to have babies for them again. Is that something that you're okay with? And Raina instantly was like, yes, Mom, let's do it. And my son, on the other hand, he's like, well, I don't know. Can you still play ball with me? Can you go swimming? So like all the little kids' worries were just like, can you still play ball? Can you go swimming? And after I answered those questions as yes, he goes, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So they don't know where I'm at in the journey as of now. But when I am confirmed pregnant and probably a couple months along, I will be like, Mom's pregnant again, and I think they'll be very happy. But yes, they did ask for permission, because it's not only my decision, it's theirs too, because they have to live it for the next 8 months with me. So they're on board as of now.
These leggings hint at the name we were discussing.
Shut up. Don't make it Galaxy or something.
No, not Galaxy.
I was gonna say, please don't name your baby Galaxy.
What about Saturn?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh God, no. Moon.
No. It's a normal name, but the nickname is going to be more like this.
Okay. My personal opinion and like how I feel is that you're helping a family grow that can't possibly grow without someone. And after doing this once, I kind of felt like I had a purpose. I grew a baby for this family that could not do it because there was 2 men. They just didn't have the right parts to do it. If I could be that link to their journey and their family, then why not do it?
I think a common judgment that's posed against surrogates is like, how could you possibly give up this baby that you've been carrying to another couple? And kind of a common practice now when it comes to IVF and surrogacy is to keep the egg donor and the surrogate as 2 separate people to avoid those kinds of complications down the line. But you know, I think that anybody who's carrying a baby, whether it's their own or whether it's for somebody else, I think they're gonna develop some sort of emotional connection. You know, you're feeling the kicks, you've got this baby or these babies growing inside of you. Stacey has given us the ultimate gift of family, and the least that we can do to give back is to share our family with her family. And in order to do that, those 2 families become one.
On Facebook, I did a surrogacy album, and it was a Q&A because a lot of people had questions because they don't know anybody who's done it. And that was a question that I got asked is, how can you just give up your baby like that? 1, it's not my baby. 2, there's different types of surrogacy. The one I'm doing, it's called a gestational carrier. So that just basically means it's not my egg. I am just the oven. So the baby will not be genetically mine. There might be little small traces of my genetics in them if they do like an ancestry test or something. There might be minute traces linking back to myself, but in general it'll be the dads with they actually had an egg donor. So it'll trace back to them versus me. And if you go into a mindset of thinking you're helping someone else's family grow, yeah, you get attached to the kicks and the flutters and you're with this child for 8 months. If you go to the mindset of just saying, it's not my baby, because it's not, you don't really give up anything. You're actually giving something to someone. I guess that's like the best answer I can give, because it's not mine. I'm just helping. And yes, you grow attached to the kicks and the flutters, but then after you deliver and you see the dad's faces of joy, it's incredible. So you know you've done the right thing. So, yeah, it's a little emotional.
Stacey, I don't know how to put my feelings for you into words. Just thank you for everything. You've given us the gift of family, and it's the greatest gift I could ever ask for. You've blessed my husband and I with our dreams coming true, and just seeing you as amazing parent to Evan and Raina, I can only strive to be that caliber of a parent for Demi and Benjamin. So thank you for being the greatest example that I've ever seen of being a genuine, amazing, authentic, loving human being.
You don't really know what you give until you see it. A lot of people think I do this for the money, and that's not it. It's to see the dads' faces after they get to hold their baby. It's just something that they wanted for so long. And everybody's telling them, you can't do that because you're gay. You can't have a family. You can't own a home. And then they're just like, watch me. And to help them create that family, it's just incredible.
Oh, and one last thing. It's official. We got a positive blood test. There is a baby in there, the embryo stuck. Woo! We're so excited. Bring on Coal Diamond baby number 3.